artist Victoria Eidelsztein, who has come to Monticello to work with our Humans of Monticello team on a really exciting portrait project. And because of COVID, she's been having to work remotely, all from her studio in Minneapolis. We were planning to have a whole bunch of really fun painting in public, pop-up events for you around Monticello. But thank you for rolling with COVID and continuing on with the project anyway. And the work is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with us here in Monticello. So how many years have you been a professional artist?
That's a tough question because I guess being considered professional, it means maybe when you start working off of it, but I've always done art since I've been a little kid. I guess maybe the last 2-3 years have been super steady in just doing art and being able to live out of it. But I was doing art before, just maybe having other jobs like a teacher or just side jobs.
That's almost every artist
I know. Absolutely.
It's like, when did you start being an artist?
Yeah.
Well, I was
forever.
4 years old.
Yeah.
But your professional art career has really ramped up in the last couple of years.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And you started doing your art mostly in your home country of Argentina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lived there most of my life. I moved to the States 2 years ago, so I did most of my art there in Buenos Aires. And also, I've been through a lot of different media till I got to this point of doing painting, murals. I got my degree on printmaking, so I know all the printmaking techniques. I studied photography. I've been super interested in drawing with markers, so I've been experimenting and always focused in the human body, but lately I was more focused on painting portraits and especially murals and trying to go bigger in size of canvas.
And the materials you're using right now, can you describe what you're using a little bit for people that might not be familiar?
Yeah. So Face Me Por Favor is a project that I started with my partner Matt, and that is the project that started for me with this technique that's called wheat paste. And what it is essentially is either printing or painting on very thin paper like newsprint, and then wheat pasting it on walls or any other surface, but mainly it's on the street. It's like an urban kind of street art. So I paint on paper in my studio, and then what I do is take it out and do a collage. So I cut pieces, and sometimes I even add text. I also paint on canvas, and I paint directly on wall, but this is a technique that some people don't understand exactly what's going on, but it's very easy and everybody can do it. You can just paint or draw on a paper and then just glue it somewhere. It's essentially a collage, but on a bigger scale and on a wall.
And is the choice of materials for that, using the lighter weight paper, is that a choice to make the artwork more portable and easy to do a collage method with?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So it has a lot of benefits. On one side, it's cheap, it's easy to paint on it, then it's easy to cut and to make a collage and glue it on different surfaces, because if it's a very thick paper, it's not easy to do that. I think it also looks good because it's the paper kind of I don't know how to say it exactly, but matches with the wall. Yeah, the texture, and also you don't really see it very much. It is there, but not completely. So
it almost looks like the image is just sort of emerging from the wall.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really like by I saw some artists doing it in Buenos Aires. They have a group and they were doing that, and I was like, I want to experiment with that style of making, because there's something about the rush of painting while everybody's looking at you, and something that is nice about painting while you're in your studio and then taking it outside. It's like a very different process of painting by yourself or painting outside. So with paste, I'm available of painting in my studio alone and going through that process by myself, and then taking it outside and showing it. So yeah, when painting a mural like this one, the whole process is exposed.
Very public.
Yeah, so that's nice, but sometimes it's nice to keep it private too.
So you say you've been focusing more and more on portraits in your most recent work.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about typically portraits, paintings,
Mm-hmm.
portrait paintings were something that was only available to
Rich families. Yeah.
exactly, like
Yeah.
aristocrats and monarchs
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
historically.
Royal families, and yeah.
And with the work that you are focusing on, talk a little bit about the type of portraiture
Mhm.
you are drawn to doing in your own work.
Yeah, I think I like the way you put it. I never thought about it that way. I mean, I absolutely know about it, but like I never did the link of that. I think, yeah, what I try to do is exactly choose all the opposite people, not the royal, not the aristocrats, not the high class or whatever. The idea is to give visibility to people that don't have that attention or are not don't have the means to show themselves or to have a voice, or just
To celebrate the common people.
yeah,
everyday.
it's mainly celebrating diversity and minorities and people who are next to us and maybe we don't know, it started as a way of letting people express themselves in Buenos Aires. We started it as an anonymous way for people to participate. They didn't have to tell us their name or anything, or we didn't even have to meet them. They would just send us a photo and we would send them a few questions and they would reply to that, and we would make a portrait with a phrase that we liked out of those answers. And so we realized that people were starting to use it as a way of just expressing something that was very, very taboo, or just a way of healing something that was going on with them. So it started like growing up, building up, and we realized, okay, people, even if social media and everything shows photos of yourself all day, and maybe sometimes it's too much, this is different. This is like somebody else's view of yourself and what they take out of you, like everybody will be like, oh, I'm so intrigued of what you're gonna do with this that I'm giving you, like a little bit of me. And so I like that more than someone that maybe, like we encounter, like, and me especially too, like people who really wanted to show themselves in a superficial way, and like that is not very happy to me. Like I'd rather paint someone that is not very
posed.
Exactly, or just doing it for the photo next to the mural.
It's a more intimate look at the human.
Someone or someone that would not exactly like to be exposed, but it's doing it for the experiment or for like showing something else, or understanding the artistic part of it too.
So when you were doing these portraits and sort of mini interviews, I guess you call them, and then posting them out in the public world, were you finding that those were sort of connection points for other people who would view them then, like just like a common humanity type experience?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's something about the human experience that we can all relate to. It's not like just something that it's about one specific person, but it has like we like to choose from their answers something that would other people would relate to it, you know, like either issues or celebrations, or just telling something that like somebody else could be like, oh, interesting, you know, me too. Or like, oh, I didn't know somebody like this lived here and had these opinions. That's great. So that kind of movement. Yeah.
It's interesting, your work that you've been doing on your own really coincides with the work that our Humans of Monticello team has been trying to do here in Monticello, and just all those little points of connection between people. Like people can on the surface look very different from each other, but have very similar dreams and even concerns or things that worry them. But I just think it's such a beautiful blend of your work with the work that they're doing. I'm really excited
Very
to show
special,
people this project.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very oftenly actually, so it's good that this worked out. Yeah, we met.
Where do you think your artwork will be taking you next? What do you have any projects that you're gonna be focusing on next that you're excited about? Or
Yeah, I've been thinking in doing more portraits of Argentinian women, like focusing more maybe on my culture. I feel like there's something that I don't know. I've been feeling like, okay, I think I want to dig into that, see more into my culture.
explore that.
Yeah. I'm also, it's good because I'm also doing these portraits that are based on photographs, but at the same time, lately I've been trying to draw, just like go back to drawing, like just like free, and it's very helpful because it's been a long time of like just painting out of photos, and it's tiring too. Like there's some creativity that I have to express too. So like right now I'm in this balance of like, okay, still doing portraits, like very, let's say, realistic portraits, and also drawing out of just my head. So that's something that I also see at the same time happening. But I realized that before I used to fight against this, against being like having different media, maybe different type of images, and now I'm more like in peace with it. Like, okay, I'm diverse. Yeah, so I do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, well, your artwork is gorgeous, and you're so talented. I'm sure any medium you choose to work with, you'll be able to bring your own creativity and artistry to that.
Well, it's hard to have that mindset. It's hard to think that way. Usually it's like, this is so bad. This is not gonna work out. I should do what I was doing 3 years ago, or like, you know, just it's hard to admit a process that you can't control. It's like, it's there, you better like do something about it, explore, you know.
You hear that, artists? Every single artist out there, no matter how awesome they are, has all the same insecurities.
So many insecurities. It's so hard.
Constantly. Well, we feel so lucky to be able to have some of your artwork here in Monticello now. If people want to follow along with what you're working on, or maybe even get in touch with you to see if you're interested in doing a commission, what's the best way to get a hold of you or follow your work?
Even if I hate it, Instagram is the best way, I think. I try not to be on it a lot, but like I keep it updated.
Yes, you do have a very interesting, good Instagram.
And I got my website too, and my email. Like, yeah, I'm on those three, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you're open to people just reaching out to
Yes,
you?
I would love to, yes. Okay. Yeah, I like talking to people. Yeah, I actually feel like, you know, like painting is very lonely. It gets super lonely. This is another thing, artists.
Yes.
It's super lonely, so the interaction gets super lost sometimes. That's something nice about doing murals and street art. There's a connection that happens.
Yep.
That is not the studio with yourself where the
clouds
appear.
You
So yes,
contact.
I would love people to contact, and yeah, I'm open for commissions, yeah, too.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for talking to us today,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for sharing your work with us. There'll be details to follow of where you can see Victoria's beautiful artwork in person right here in Monticello. So stay tuned.
And thank you so much. I didn't say it.